Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. Let's get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. Let's go. So we start out with Nell and Chris. When Nell is looking at Chris, trying to understand where he was in this whole Martell and Trish situation, it gives me, she's looked at him like this before. Because when she said, look at me and talk to me, not look past me, and the way she was looking at him right here, she been here before. Child, Nell told Chris that they were scavenger hunting big time, right? Because he told Nell that he gave Martell a description of Trish and a last name. And she was like, well, how did he find her like that? He was like, I don't know. He must have researched her. And then he was like, I know her, but I don't know her because she's my cousin. Like, Nell is really trying to get down to the nitty gritty of this. Like I said, she has been in this type of questioning with Chris before. This is not new. So one thing Nell was really trying to get clear is she didn't understand why Chris would give Martell the information when he and Mel were together and they were trying to work it out where they could stay together. But Chris said Martell and Mel were separated. And then she went on to talk about the mentor situation. I don't know what it is with her and these titles. Like, I said this on live. We were on live earlier in the morning. Do you have a certificate now? Like, did you go to school to be a mentor? Because in my mind, as a mentor, you would try to help people to be in a better place. I feel like the mentoring that she was doing for Mel was to help her understand what Martell was doing and try to figure out how she could stay and still remain his wife in a bad situation with him having a child and probably not going to leave that woman alone. That's what I think she was trying to mentor to Mel. I could be wrong. Well, here we are, people. We have made it to Credit One USA. Mel and Maurice are having a conversation. Let's get into it. Y'all, this whole gaslighting scene with Mel sitting here talking to Maurice, like him trying to sit here and go through the soliloquies of why Mel is so hurt and her trying to get back at him, asking him about the DUI. So everybody's talking about the DUI. It's the only thing you've done in your tenure on this show that makes it interesting to talk to you. It's unfortunate that you got stopped by the police and got a DUI. And 100%. Like, Mel has not said anything to do anything with your character. You took care of that on your own. And him talking about her introduction to the public was an embarrassing situation. She explained what her introduction to the public was. It just happened to be that she had a husband who was a cheater. Now, granted, Martell's not the only cheater, but this is a situation on television that we witnessed. And then she had a point like, you're not around me. And then she had to let him know that because you talked to Martell, you're not going to talk to me. I'm not about to be going back and forth with you and you talking to my ex-husband because that is where your allegiance is. I can't believe he told her that her asking about the DUI was her get back. For what? For you, Maurice? You are really irrelevant. So Marquez is with Chris and Marceau. Chris lets Marceau know that he met Marquez for the first time at Marquez's children's event. And then Marquez goes on to let everybody know that his biggest fear is watching another man take care of his kids. Well, if you were at home, then you wouldn't have to watch another man take care of the kids. It could have been you. Now, Marceau seems to think that Marquez is still in love with Trish. Now, Marquez said that I have love for her. And then Chris is like, what is your trigger for coming back and seeing Trish happy? Then he goes into, there were so many things that had come up, you know, with the situation before you knew it. But had you stayed at home, those things probably would not have come up. I'm just saying. Marceau really broke it down. I don't know how y'all feel like what Marceau said, but I agree with Marceau. He want to say the kids, the kids, the kids, the kids. But people who get mad about the kids don't leave the kids. He did say he divorced Trish, but not the kids. But you weren't there. And then Marceau said you allowed somebody to come in and let your daughter sit on somebody else's lap. That was a little bit much. That was a lot. Now for Chris to get in this confessional, talking about somebody leaving their family and expecting them to be there when you get back. is rich. I'm not saying he's not right, but coming out of his mouth is wild to me. But Marquez said that he did expect to come back. And when he came back, Ken was there. So you got to take that on the chin, sir. So we're here at the Mimosas with Melody event, right? Ken and Trish have come in. Trish said that she really wasn't excited about coming. I looked at this again because I couldn't understand why she would say that. But I think she was just really embarrassed at how she acted at her children's party while Mel was there. But she said she did come to support. These two have come in. They look judgy, don't they? They look like they have judgment. That's what they look like to me. Marquez has come in with a bouquet of flowers. Out of order. Just out of order. Sunny is here in her pink. And the Fletchers are here. And you know what? Honestly, it feels like they were made to come. Because Mel has had plenty of events. Like off camera. And they weren't there. So this is just for the camera. That's what I got. And Sammy Davis Jr. has walked in. And he is just hugging all the Melometers and thinking that now they are Marsoliders. So now we're here with Judge, Judgy, and Judger, right? Marceau leans over and says, is this the Black Expo? Maurice is like, no, it's co-ed now. It's the Melody and Mimosas business something, right? And then he says, so it's not just a group of mean girls talking. What do they do at that expo, Marceau? Who is talking over there? While Marceau and Maurice sitting over here joking, like just clap to be clapping, you need to be over here talking to Shanda Crutcher. She is Huntsville's housing authority. I think you need help with zoning and knowing when you can do what you can do. Instead of trying to be funny, you really need to be in here looking for some help, Marceau. Now, I will say this. Marquez is great comedic relief, and he really did good on this episode. I got to give him that. Right? He has some flowers. He told Mel he was going to give them to Miss Van, and he talked about how beautiful Mel was to Miss Van. Then Trish is sitting there like, this is Marquez being Marquez. Like, I don't know what it was. But then she was like, Ken and her are sitting there trying to send the kids some money. She asked Ken, was his still pending? This whole scene right here, Marquez come out here speaking to them. They sitting there pretending like they sending money to the kids. Because who would leave the house without sending the kids money and wait till you get over here and now you can't send the kids money because it won't go through? But I would have been like, you know what, honey, don't worry about it. The children's father is here. Marquez, I need you to send the kids about $150. Okay? They're at home and they're waiting. Let him step up and step in. Y'all always talk about he don't do nothing. Let him step up. I would have put this all on Marquez. Ken leaning over here trying to get the cash app to go through. The dad is standing right here to get him to send the money. Then Maurice is in the business. Trish had to let Maurice know that we are handling it. I know that's right. Marquez, go sit down. And after Marquez leaves, Trish and Ken let Maurice and Kimmy know that he may be talking right now, but after he leaves this mimosa situation, they're not going to be able to be in contact with him anymore. And then she talked about the type of messages that he sends her about Ken. And it's a lot. Totally out of order. Your children need money, and you over here talking about you want to rub Mel's feet. But baby, that ain't even it. Look at how Marceau looked at Marquez when he asked Mel, does she need him to rub her feet? He was like, what are you doing, sir? Why would you say that to Mel? Look at Marceau don't like that. Then Marceau trying to get the straightening with Marquez of how he allegedly made Mel blush at the party, how he feels about her, how he wants to be hooked up with her. Mel was like, aren't you married, sir? Technically. Him and Trish with his technicalities drives me crazy. So when Mel asks about Moses, Sonny lets us know that Moses is detained. Nell invites everyone to their 30th wedding vow renewal. I thought Nell looked great, but I think she's taking this mentor thing way too far. And I think Mel thinks she's taking it way too far. Bye, y'all.